Alright guys, so we've been talking about this topic a lot lately and it's been on my mind quite often. It's really just about how Tesla was gonna implement these changes eventually. And you guys probably can already guess what I'm talking about by the title of this video. So a few of my videos that I've released lately talked a lot about hardware 4.5. Now why I've been referencing a lot to hardware 4.5 is because I think hardware 4 is still an incomplete process. Now just like my last video where I talked about Project Highland and Project Juniper, the Model 3 and Model Y refreshes, I talked about how they were going to get additional cameras as well as the new radar. Now if you guys haven't watched that video, go check it out. I'll drop a link up top there as well as the description below. But Project Highland, the updated Model 3, is starting production in China this April. Alright, so now let's take a look back at a time where this exact scenario happened as well. This was when hardware 2 was announced and a couple months later hardware 2.5 was released. Now there wasn't quite a substantial change, however it was big enough for you to see actual hardware and decipher between hardware 2 and hardware 2.5 vehicles. At first glance, standing from the outside, it's not quite that obvious, but as soon as you stepped inside of the vehicle, the first thing you'll see is the new updated interior camera. The previous version didn't have this, so this is where the bottleneck was in terms of full self-driving beta. Now down the line they decided that they weren't going to retrofit this new interior camera. However, fortunately for us, they didn't require for FSD beta, so all of us, including the ones without the interior camera, were able to get the software. Now the only downside to this is the future promise of robo-taxi and self-driving, where the car ultimately has to track the passengers inside. Now although this is going to be extremely way down the line, it's going to pretty much guarantee that those vehicles are not going to be able to do it. Now of course there's going to be other changes as well, like going to full RGB, and that was a part of the switch from 2 to 2.5. Now I talked about this in previous videos regarding Cybertruck and Semi and the upcoming vehicles. Green originally leaked the new boards with 11 ports and 1 spare. That means that hypothetically Tesla has thought of 11 different camera placements and 1 additional one just in case they wanted to add a different radar or maybe an extra unit somewhere. But we are very firm on the number 11, and as of right now there is only 8 cameras on board of vehicles. Now a lot of guesses and speculations out there says that the 11 connectors and ports right there are going to be for Cybertruck and the Semi. I personally don't think this is the case because it doesn't make sense to add additional ports, additional work to the board when it's not needed for the majority of vehicles out there. And when I'm talking about the majority, I'm talking about Model 3s and Model Ys. Definitely Tesla is going to be thinking of cost efficiency, and adding those extra connectors on every single boards to millions of vehicles is going to eventually add up. So what it comes down to is hardware 4 that is currently on the Model S's and X's are not on their final stages yet. There are going to be minor iterations of it, just like hardware 2 to hardware 2.5. Now I hate to be negative and get a bunch of backlash for this, but what it comes down to is that Tesla needs to add additional cameras to cover the front bumper area that is a blind spot and cover the cross traffic for FSD beta. Now just yesterday Green gave us confirmation that this is exactly what's going to happen. Hardware 4 is going to be split into 2 different branches. One is going to be the branch of the current Model S and X's, and the other branch is going to be on the future vehicles, the Model S's, X's, and 3s and Ys. Now he confirmed this by the second SoC that Tesla's released for hardware 4. Now don't confuse this for state of charge. It stands for system on a chip. So essentially what it is it's just 2 different full self-driving computer boards. The newer vehicle is going to have newer boards and newer cameras. It's going to be 3 additional cameras, 1 at the front bumper and 2 possibly at the rear facing fender cameras. Now with some additional digging around, it even indicates that these are 2K cameras, so they run at 45 frames per second, which falls in line with the rest of the cameras around the car running hardware 4 right now. This means that right now if you have a hardware 3 car, you are 2 generations behind, and if you have a hardware 4 vehicle, you are about a 0.5 generation behind. The math doesn't really even play out, but yeah, essentially that's pretty much what it is. Although I wish there was a retrofit for this, it looks like it's not going to be the case knowing Tesla and how they run things. A simple thing as adding a motor to their tilting screens on the earlier Plaids, they didn't even make that happen, so the likelihood of them adding additional cameras by drilling up the bumper and all these replacements of the computer boards are going to be kind of a stretch. Just keep in mind that all these changes are imminent. They are coming very soon this year. So be it Project Highland, Project Juniper, Hardware 4 or 4.5, it's all going to be happening in the next couple months. So just keep that in mind when you are planning to order your vehicle. Now, you guys are probably asking, how would you know if it's hardware 4.5 or hardware 4? By just simply looking at it. Honestly, there is really no way, because as of right now, Tesla could already be implementing it onto the newer vehicles, but it makes only the option of retrofit possible, not necessarily the new cameras have already been in place. They really could just have the 4.5 FSD computer inside, and down the line when they choose to add the new camera, they can do so without having to think about it too much. This is really how Tesla rolls all these years, so I think that there is a really big chance that after this leak from Green has happened, maybe about a week or two from now, we're going to be seeing newer vehicles with hardware 4.5 built in. So yeah, this is all crazy stuff right now, and if you guys want to stay up to date, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at HeyJohnE, and make sure you guys also subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because I will post a video every day if I need to let you guys know exactly what's going on with the new vehicle updates. Anyways guys, this should be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, this is John. Peace out.